Today we're going to be multiplying decimals by whole numbers using models. So the thing I want you to remember about this is that multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition, okay? And so this is kind of important. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is the same thing as 5 times 4. That's a very bad looking 5. It's the same thing as 5 times 4 because you have 4 groups of 5. So multiplication is a way to help us quickly add up a number that shows up over and over and over again, okay? Because when we're multiplying decimals, what's happening is we're going to have an amount that's going to show up over and over and over again, all right? The interesting thing about decimals is decimals are less than 1. So what you're going to see a lot of times when you're multiplying decimals is that you might have something like 0.15, 0.15, 0.15. You add it together 3 times, so that would be 0.15 or 1500ths times 3. That your answer a lot of times is going to end up being pretty small because you're multiplying together 3 small pieces of 1, okay? So I'm going to look at the grids and show you how to make models of multiplication with decimals. So let's take a look at this grid and look at how this decimal model works. So you'll notice up here, here is our problem. We have 4 times 7 hundredths because the 7 is in the hundredths place, right? And so 7 hundredths are small, but we're going to have it over and over again. So we're going to add it together 4 times. So 4 times 7 is the same as having 4 groups of 7 hundredths, okay? So if you look down here at the model, you'll see 4 groups of 7 hundredths colored in, each one a different color. So if we start with here with the blue, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so each of these squares is a hundredth. So there's 7 hundredths in blue, that's one group. So here 1, 2, 3, and then up 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 in the green group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up here makes 7 in the red group, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 4 groups of 7 hundredths colored in. Okay, now 7 hundredths are small, so even though I have 4 groups of them, they are still less than a whole because they don't fill up this whole grid. So in order to figure out what the answer is, which you'll see over here, it says the answer is 28 hundredths. How do I come up with that? Well, if I count together all of these that are colored in, I've got one row here which is 10, one row here which is another 10, so that's 20, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 28 hundredths colored in. And the interesting thing about this is you might notice that 4 times 7 hundredths is similar to 4 times 7, because 4 times 7 is 28, except because we have 4 groups of 7 hundredths, the answer is not 28 wholes, but the answer is 28 hundredths. Okay, so if we take a peek over here at this next problem, you'll see that we have 3 times 54 hundredths. Okay, so this one is 54 hundredths is actually more than half. So if I have 3 of them, I'm going to get an answer more than 1. So I'm going to show you how this works using 2 grids, okay? So I have to color in 3 groups of 54 hundredths. Each square is 100. There's 10 squares in a row. So to color in 54, I color in 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, plus another 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right. So there's my first group of 54. Now my blue represents my second group of 54. Interestingly enough though, I colored 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, which is 40, and I filled in this empty space here until my grid is all full up. So 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. I got to get up to 54, so I had to go over and use another square. 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So this blue is my second group of 54 hundredths. Now you'll notice that it has made more than a whole. Okay, it filled up 1 whole square, so that's 1, plus some of another square, and I still have to do a whole nother group of 5400ths. So I know I can already say that I have one filled in there, so this is one whole. All right, so one last group of 5400ths. So I have 1 row, 2 row, 3, 4, 5, so there's 50. There's 2 down here to fill in that row, 52, and 2 more over here. So I have one whole grid over here, and then in this grid, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, which is 60, and 2 more. So in that grid, I have 6200ths colored in. So I need a decimal to show that because that's less than 1, because that's less than 1 grid. So altogether, 3 times 5400ths makes 1 and 60. Oh, I'm sorry, I said 64. That's my mistake. 1 and 6200ths. I did not count carefully. Always make sure you count carefully. All right, and so that's where that answer comes from. What you should be doing today is practicing making models on your hundredths grids, thousandths grids, and tenths grids that we've given you to use with your dry erase marker. There's a problem of the day for you posted in the Google Classroom. I'd like you to go ahead and go to that problem of the day right now and have it solved or try to solve it in time to bring it to the Teacher Center.